Okay, let's talk about inheritance. Okay, and write some points on inheritance which are very important. Inheritance in inheritance in inheritance, one class acquires the properties of another class. Okay, in inheritance, one class acquires the properties of another class. Okay, so inheritance are basically used to reuse the code. Please note down, inheritance are used to reuse the code. That is one first advantage. And the second advantage of using the inheritance is that, so using inheritance, okay, the information is made manageable in a hierarchical order. So let's talk about one second. Inheritance. In the inheritance, one class acquires the properties of another class. And advantages of inheritance, one is reuse of code. Second point is that the information is made manageable in hierarchical order. So these are the 2 points, these are the 3 things which you need to remember. Okay, let's start write a program to understand the inheritance. So one more point note down. Extends is the keyword used to inherit the properties of a class. Extends. Extends. Extends is the keyword which is used to inherit the properties of a class. Okay. So this is another point. There are multiple inheritance are there. There are multiple types of inheritance are there. Let's see one by one. Let's assume this is a class A, and let's assume this is a class B. Okay. Now what happened here? Class A inherited to the class B, or class B inherited all the properties of class A. Okay. Now class B, from the class B I can also access class B related variables and methods, as well as class A variables and methods. Okay. So by inheriting class A to the class B, okay, so I can able to, from the class B I can able to access all the methods and variables of class A. Okay, so single this is called single level inheritance. This is called single, along with me please note down all these things. Single level inheritance, which are very important in Java. Now another thing. Okay, this is again this is A, B and C. Now, okay, C is inherited the details from B as well as A. C is inherited the properties from B and A, and B is inherited the properties from A. Okay, so this kind of level, this kind of structure, we call it as multi-level inheritance. Multi-level inheritance. So in inheritance, we need to understand one more thing, that is parent and child concept. Who is the parent and who is the child here? Okay, let's talk about single level inheritance. Who is the parent for B? Can anybody tell me who is the parent for B?
A,
A. And who is the child for A?
B.
B. And who is the child for B here? Who is the child for B?
Here nothing, I
Yes,
guess.
exactly. There is nothing, right? Now, who are the childs for A?
B and C.
Okay, who are the childs for B?
C,
And who is the parent for C?
A and B.
Okay, who is the parent for B?
A,
Exactly. Okay, that's that's correct. Okay, that's one thing you need to remember, the parent and child concept. Okay, so child is the one who will be inheriting the properties of parent class, right? And child class we can also call it as subclass. Note down, child class we can also call it as subclass, and parent class we can also call it as base class. There are some books will be referring as subclass and base class. Okay, so you no need to, you should not confuse with that. So child class is the one will be named as subclass, parent class is the one will also be named as base class. Now let's talk about one more thing. And who is the parent for B and C? Who is the parent for B?
A,
Who is the parent for C?
A,
Who is the child for C? A. Sorry, who is the child for A?
B and C.
Okay, and this is called hierarchical. This is called hierarchical inheritance. Okay, okay. Uh, this is A and this is B and this is C. Who is the parent for C?
A and B.
Okay, so Java is yes, that's correct. And Java is more more reliable and more you know it takes examples on the real world scenarios. Okay, so it's built on real world. Okay, so is there any chance that a child can have two parents? There is no way, right? Okay, in the same way, in Java, this is called multiple inheritance. In Java, multiple inheritance is not supported. In Java, multiple inheritance cannot be achieved. Okay, so please note down the point. In Java, multiple inheritance cannot be achieved through inheritance. Okay, in Java, and one more point, in Java, multiple inheritance cannot be supported directly. In Java, multiple inheritance cannot be supported directly. Okay, so that's one thing. It's very important. So there are two questions. One is in in Java, multiple inheritance supported? No. Then the second question is why it is not supported. Okay, second question. And the third question is, so if I want to support multiple inheritance, how can I support it? Okay, so please note down all these questions. Answer will be given at the time of interface concepts. And this is called, so till this point we can call it as hierarchical, and and this we can call it as, multi-level inheritance, right? There are two things. One is hierarchical inheritance is available, and also multi-level inheritance is available, and this is called hybrid inheritance. Okay, please note down all these things. Okay, so let's start one by one. Okay, so I'll explain you one or two things, and you have to exercise the remaining things. Let's take an example. Let's create a new package. I'm creating a new package as inheritance, where I want to keep all the inheritance related examples in this package. Let's remove the dummy class which is created here. So let's create a class called calculator. Okay, so uh, public void add int a comma int b, and so let's take a return type as integer. Okay, and when you are returning something, int c equal to a plus b, and return the value c. Okay, this is one thing. Public void public int subtract. Okay, when you are returning something, so if you're not returning anything, please make sure that you are returning a void. There's nothing but you are not returning anything. If you want to return something, so please make sure what you are returning. It's an integer, float, string, or what it is. Okay, so please specify here. Please specify here. Return a minus b. A minus b. So after doing a minus b, the value will be returned from the subtract. Okay. So public void multi b. Okay, and return a into B. Okay, that's perfect. So it's not a void, it's a integer. Now let's take another class, new class, scientific. Can anybody tell what are the scientific calculator will be having apart of add, multiplication, division, something like that? What are the extra uh, calculations we can do with the scientific calculator? Does anybody use scientific calculator anytime, or even in your mobile phone also you can able to so open the scientific calculator? Okay, so like for example, power of x value, power of 2, and power of 10, what is the square root of 16, what is the square root of some 400, something like that. Okay, these are not general calculations, which are something like the scientific calculations, so which only available in the scientific calculator, not in the not in the general calculator. So, and what is the cos 10? What is the tan 10? Okay, tan 20, something like that, cos theta, tan theta, something like that. So, these are the scientific calculations which can be seen in your mobile application also, but you have to open scientific calculator. Okay, so even scientific calculator also has the normal calculations such as this one, add, subtract, multiplication. Okay, so division, all those things scientific calculator also will be having. And apart of that, there are many other functionalities, right? Let's scientific calculator. Let's see some of the images so that you can understand it. So we know calculator. There is no doubt. We know calculator. What are the calculator functionality? So there are some numbers, and you can do some multiplication and subtraction, addition, division, something like that. Okay, and the other side you can see these are called scientific calculation functions. Okay, cos, log, tan, inverted. This is called there's something. Okay, so this is what is the square root, and what is the 2 power 10 or 3 power 5, something like that. Okay, let's do one functionality, public uh, int power. Okay, so int a, int b. I want to know what is the a power b. 2 power 2, how much? It's a 4. 2 power 3, how much? 2 into 2 into 2. Okay, it's a, so 2 into 2 4, 4 into 2 8. Okay, so something like that. Int return, you have to implement some logic to find out the power. Okay, so right now I just you know going with a into b. Okay, a into a into a into something, some logic I'm going on. Okay, this is the power. Okay, so let's create a main method here. So scientific calculator also, if you can see, so this is a scientific calculator. This scientific calculator will also be having a scientific calculation, also normal, minus, integer, into, and division, addition, all those things. Okay, so again I have to start write all these things. Okay, I have to write public int add, int a, int b, and return a plus b, right? And again take the same thing and make it as subtraction. Okay, subtraction, and do a minus b. Okay, so like that I have to do for multiplication also, right? So copy the same thing, multiplication, do, instead of a minus b, do a into b. Okay, so Can you see these three methods are duplicated in the calculator also? Okay, okay. These are the three methods: add, subtract, multiplication, which is in calculator, and also there in the scientific calculator. We know scientific calculator is advanced than calculator, and why can't we use the calculator related functionalities in scientific calculator also? Okay, let's do extend. Extends, as I said. So extends is a keyword which is used to inherit the properties of parent class, properties of other class, right? Now by doing this, by scientific calculator extending this calculator, scientific calculator also has a accessible to scientific calculator is also have the accessible to all these three methods, all these three methods. Okay, let's see how it how it works. Okay, let's create a object for the scientific calculator. Sc equal to new. Sc dot. Now you can see add, but no, actually add method is not available right here. Add method is not available. By making extending the calculator, I can also able to access the methods and variables which are present in the calculator also. Okay, this is very important. I recommend you to understand this, and if you can understand, I will take you to another section. Let's int c or int whatever it is, int c equal to. So when you call scientific calculator dot add, it will be called to, it will go to here, and a plus b will be called, and the input will be written to c, and the c will be written here. Okay, we are returning some number or some value, and that will be I'm assigning to another variable, that is c or c1, whatever it is you want. Okay, so and I am doing sys out and c1. Let's run this class, and I should get 30 is the answer. If I can able to get it, that's well and good. Can you see the answer is 30? Now remember the advantages of inheritance. One is reusability of code. So in the scientific calculator, I didn't return any add, subtract, and multiplication methods, but I just reuse the I just reuse those methods from the calculator just by extending calculator, just by inheriting calculator. That's first advantage of inheritance. The second advantage is that you can maintain a hierarchy. Scientific calculator is extending the calculator. Okay, here calculator is the parent class, scientific calculator is the subclass. Okay, like this. In this, now it's a single inheritance. So that's how inheritance is. Okay, let's say let's say one more point I will explain, and I'll wind up this class. There is a square root, and I doesn't know how to implement this square root. Okay, I doesn't know how to implement this square root, and I made it as abstract. If I make it as abstract, okay, if I doesn't know how to implement a method, if I don't provide a method to a body to a method, I have to put a semicolon at the end, and I have to make it as abstract. Okay, and what it says, okay, and it says that if you have if a class is having at least one abstract method, if a class is having at least one abstract method, the class has to be abstract, as I said. Okay, and for the abstract class, I cannot make a cannot instantiate the types scientific calculator is nothing but I cannot instantiate a abstract class. Okay, so I also shown a demo on the abstract class. Okay, let's remove all these things. That's fine. So please note, no, please verify my material. Okay, where I also explained about multi-level inheritance. Okay, and I also explained about hierarchical inheritance. Okay, please verify my material and try to work on those examples. Okay, you know where is my material is available in a github.com. In my account there is a material section where you can find all these things, and there are some multiple books also placed. You can verify those books and finish the remaining stuff.